Yo. What's going on, man? Today is February the 23rd, 2022 and 2023. I'm sorry. And the Cash It with Chris show is back, man. NBA is back today. I'm excited for post All-Star break. I think we'll get a lot more serious basketball. And I'm here to give you guys some winners for today's card, man. We got a lot of games. There's a lot of action as the NBA season resumes. So if you don't mind, especially if you guys are enjoying the content, please consider hitting the like button for me if you guys can. And we only have one more quick section that I want to talk about before we get right into the games, right into the games for today. So you guys see announcements up here. The morning show, this Cast It with Chris show will be shorter than it was previously. I was typically trying to make a podcast that was about 25 to 27 minutes, with that being a cap per day, just kind of going over angles, kind of waiting on some injury news, but kind of just giving you guys the insight that I had. Moving forward, I'm gonna make this show a lot shorter. It'll probably be 10 to 12 minutes max, where it's just official plays that I have already put in, and some leans that I might be leaning and may have confirmation on towards the end of the day when I'm doing the evening Crispy Captain show. So shorter shows here, and perfect segue to the Crispy Captain evening show start time change. So 5:15 Eastern was typically the time that I've always started the Crispy Captain NBA show. But if you guys are watching right now, then you're going to be the first to probably remember this news, because I did share it before the All-Star game, is that the evening show will start at 5:30 Eastern time. So it'll be 15 minutes delayed than it typically is, just to give me a little more time to kind of prep in the evening. Got a lot of stuff going on outside of actually doing the show every day, doing either show every day. So 5:30 Eastern time is when I'll start the Crispy Captain evening show, where myself and a bunch of other guys, pretty sharp guys from Twitter, join me, and we kind of break the card down and share our best bets and give our analysis around why. So that'll be 5:30 instead of 5:15. And then last but not least, check out the podcast if you guys haven't already. Always talk about, the Crispy Captain NBA. I'm sorry, the morning show. This show, Cashed It with Chris, is available on all podcast streaming platforms. You guys can check it out on Apple Podcasts. Also check it out on anywhere you get your podcast from, but Spotify has it as well. So those are the announcements. Like I said, consider hitting the like button if you guys are enjoying the show. 25 games or so left for each one of these teams, and I think we get a chance to kind of separate the boys from men. I think finding out who's going to slide, who's not going to slide. I did a lot of research and kind of studying schedules, and I think I got a pretty good grasp on it. But the NBA has still been kind of unpredictable at times this year. Hopefully we can find a rhythm and kind of keep it going. So with all that being said, let's jump right into it, man. First game I want to go to, official bet for me, is looking at this Memphis Grizzlies and the Philadelphia 76ers game. This one, based on the trends, wasn't really difficult for me to cap at all. I'm still gonna play it one unit, even though everything kind of leans towards one side, and I'll break that down in a quick second. But you look at this Memphis Grizzlies team. So Steven Adams is still going to be out. You look at Memphis in general. At home, dominant team. They score a lot of points. On the road, not so much. Offense takes a dive off the cliff. They do not score as many points. Also, their defense, tends to flip as well. Jared Jackson Jr. gets a lot of blocks at home. He stays in the game. On the road, he typically gets in foul trouble. So Memphis, just looking at the trends, Memphis is 0-8 straight up, 1-7 against the spread as away dogs this season. You also look at Memphis; they're only 5-14 against the spread this season, which is 26% in games they're playing teams they've already beaten this season. So they struggle with beating teams multiple times. 2-7 against the spread on the road in that spot as well. So they don't do well when they've beaten you at home, but then they have to go on the road. Only 2-7 against the spread, and 0-2 against the spread straight up in that spot as a road dog this season. So a lot of support to fade Memphis in this spot. Then you flip it and you go do the research on Philly. This Philadelphia 76ers team has been balling. We know that they beat the Cleveland Cavaliers right before the All-Star break when both teams were pretty healthy. Philly is 17-10 against the spread at home as a favorite. That 63% says to just take them. One of the better ATS teams at home as a favorite this season. You also, I go in and I do a little deeper dive in 20-7 straight up. 74% says that they win the game. You just need them to cover a spread that's 4. They're 16-4, the Philadelphia 76ers are. Straight up, 80% with both Harden and Embiid in as home favorites, 14-6 against the spread. That's also a 70% trend that backs the 76ers here as a home favorite. So if the 76ers are playing 10 games at home as a favorite with both Joel Embiid and Harden in, they win 7 of those, 70%. 8-2 straight up and against the spread with both of those guys in when they're playing non-conference games as well. So they take these games where, some of these Western Conference teams are traveling to their building. They take those games pretty serious, and they typically win in that spot. Philly is also 11-2 straight up and against the spread in games this season versus opponent that they've already beaten this season as well. 7-0 against the spread and straight up as home favorites in this spot as well. So if Philly has beaten you already, typically, they beat you again in when you come to their gym as well. Like I said, 7-0 against the spread and straight up as home favorites when they've already beaten their opponent previously throughout the same season. Another really strong trend, what I was looking at to kind of back this Philly team was you look at road dogs that have a winning record. So I'm talking about the Memphis Grizzlies in this spot that's playing in a non-conference that's playing a non-conference opponent. Of course, Philly's the Eastern Conference team, but also have a game with a winning conference opponent on deck, and that would be this Memphis Grizzlies team as well. Memphis plays against Denver, and Denver kind of smacked Memphis. I remember that game earlier this season. I was on Memphis in that game. They went to Denver and got demolished. I know that they came back towards the end, but they were getting mollywopped in that game from the beginning. So back to the trend. Road dogs that have a winning record playing a non-conference opponent, but also have a game with a winning conference opponent up next. Those teams are 39-1 against the spread. So that's only 33% cover rate, 66% fade of the Memphis Grizzlies, who have the Denver Nuggets on deck. A much more meaningful game, probably wanting to get some revenge in that spot. I'm not sure Memphis is going to, be able to win that game either against Denver, but I do think that, Philly being at home, I'm fading the Memphis Grizzlies in this spot. I am taking the Philadelphia 76ers -4 as my first play today. Moving on to my second best bet of the day, I want to talk a little bit about the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Utah Jazz game. The Oklahoma City Thunder are road dogs yet again, which has been a successful spot. If you've been betting them as road dogs all season, you've been extremely profitable, as you were last year. Utah opened this game as a 3-point favorite. That spread is down to 2 now. We got news last night that Colin Sexton is going to miss at least 2 more games with the hamstring injury, so he won't be out there and available for this game. You look at the Oklahoma City Thunder, and I capped this game 2 ways. First, I looked at the trends. OKC is 18-6 against the spread as road dogs this season. By far the most profitable team. It's not even close, right? Currently, they are in play in seed and may be gunning for the playoffs. I think that they are. You look at their strength of schedule; they have a pretty easy schedule left as well. I think it's something like 11, if I'm not mistaken. You also look at OKC, who does have a game on Friday that's nationally televised against the Phoenix Suns. They may get Kevin Durant. Not 100% sure if Kevin Durant is going to come back in this game or if he's going to wait until next week. I think the Phoenix Suns play against the Charlotte Hornets next week in the next game. But either way, I think OKC is one of the better teams in the NBA at playing on the first leg of a back-to-back. And they're 3-1 in that spot, 3-1 against the spread on the first leg of a back-to-back when they're road dogs in the first game as well. You flip it and you start to look at the Utah Jazz. This team, I think, is kind of panning out. I don't think that they want to win anymore. I think that's one of the reasons why Danny Ainge made the trades towards the end of the trade deadline. If they were really going to be gunning for the playoffs, you probably don't cut Russell Westbrook either. You probably keep him, especially with losing Mike Conley. This team lost Mike Conley. They also lost Mike Conley went to the Timberwolves, and of course, Jared Vanderbilt, Malik Beasley, those guys left as well. And I think that's too much to overcome. I think Utah is trying to solidify that they are going to tank for the rest of the year. You also see a couple guys get get bought up. They signed a couple guys on 10-day contracts. If you guys are paying attention closely, Chris Dunn just signed on a contract, and I can't remember the other guy, but they also bought in another guy as well. And when teams start to do that towards the second end of the season, to me, it's a just confirmation that they're not trying to win. They're really just trying to develop talent. I think OKC is gunning for the playoffs, and I think Utah isn't. So I think, simply put, I think Utah loses this game today. Currently the Utah Jazz are in the 11th seed. Just traded away, like I said, key players for picks, and they should be tanking the rest of the season. Also signed a couple guys to the 10-day contract, which, like I said, I think indicates that they're trying not to win, just confirms it even more. And for those reasons, I think, Utah without Colin Sexton tonight, I think, they struggle at the guard play, which is why you bring in a guy like Chris Dunn. That only leads to more defense. I'm pretty sure, I know that he doesn't know the offense yet, and I think that they struggle. I mean, of course, you still have guys like Jordan Clarkson and Kelly Olynyk, but I think OKC is primed to win this game. So I took them +2 in this spot as well. Capped it at +3, and of course let the number get away from me. By the time Colin Sexton got ruled out, the line had moved to Utah -2, so OKC +2, and I jumped on OKC plus the 2 points in this spot. And those are my two best bets of the day. I don't want to force too much. I think that there is some other action on the board. So just a real quick recap. You guys should be able to. Yeah, you guys should be able to see it at the bottom. The best bets, I'm going to try to make sure I put those at the bottom of the screen as well. So quick recap. I'm on Philly -4 today. I'm also on the Thunder +2 in this spot. Some other leans as well. I may get to the window and have a couple more plays later, but nothing that I locked in yet. Denver and Cleveland, I think the total goes over. It opened at 221.5. It's up to 223. Jamal Murray said that he will play in this game. Of course, Jokic will be there as well. And one thing I looked at was the Denver Nuggets with Jokic in. As road dogs, this team is 6-1. So they're scoring a little more. They're scoring a few more points than the books anticipate, but they're also giving up a few more points as well. The Cavs have, they went into the All-Star break doing well, besides laying an egg in the first half against the Philadelphia 76ers. They came back and made that game competitive. Of course, that game was on the road. This team doesn't really lose a lot at home, but we know Utah is a juggernaut, even if they are on the road. Typically, they fade, similar to the Memphis Grizzlies. Their defense takes a hit on the road, and Aaron Gordon has already been listed as out in this game as well. So that's going to hurt them a little bit with him being able to match up on a guy like Donovan Mitchell, or switch the pick and roll with a guy like Darius Garland is what I was trying to say, or even trying to guard a guy like Evan Mobley on the block. So for those reasons, I didn't like I said, not official play there. Official plays all on the bottom of the screen, and that's what I got for you guys. Real quick, I'm gonna go through the comment section and then ask you guys to hit the like button for me if you guys can as well. Let's see. Derek said the return. Damn, I don't remember All-Star break being this long. They had to extend it this year. Yeah, absolutely. Zachariah is yeah, man. Let's get to it, man. Magic money line. Zachariah said he's on with Philly money line, and OKC +3 is a +300. Talk me off. I can't talk you off of that, bro. I like the Magic today. The Magic, they should not lose that game against Detroit. Was kind of struggling to take the over to under in that spot. I think Detroit just laid down. I think they're done, for the season. Not to say that they're not going to come out and play, hard in certain spots, but I don't see them winning that game today. Also, Detroit, they already beat Orlando this year, Zachariah, so I couldn't talk you off of that one. I think the Magic look for their revenge in that spot. Magic -6 looks good. Yeah, the Magic don't do well as a favorite, though, man. I don't know if you guys remember, but the Magic were catching the Lakers at home and absolutely got smacked up in that spot. So not a team I really want to back as a favorite. I do think that you got to, try to find a way to fade Detroit in some way possible. So I could see it as well. Also, I don't know if you guys know, but I saw Damian Lillard making rap songs on the plane early this morning when I woke up. They apparently, inside scoop, they got caught on the plane in the snowstorm that's out west. That Portland's having to travel to Sacramento. So I like Sacramento tonight. I also like my Lakers tonight against the Golden State Warriors too. But all of those are just leans, man. Not sure how the ice storm that's coming on the West Coast, not over here on the East Coast, but the ice storm that's coming over on the West Coast is going to impact these games. We've seen it before with teams getting stuck, Detroit got stuck in Dallas and couldn't make it home for that game against the Wizards earlier this season about 2 months ago. So yeah, monitor the weather, man. I don't think any of the games are going to be canceled, but, I could be wrong. So that's what I got for you guys today, man. Like I said, best bets at the bottom of the screen. I played the Philadelphia 76ers minus the 4. I played the Thunder plus the 2. And then I'll just go back over the announcements real quick. Shorter shows, like I said, the evening Crispy Captain show and the show will be, a little bit shorter. So, like I said, about 10 to 15 minutes tops for the morning show. And then evening show, about 45 minutes with a different start time. 15 minutes later, 5:15 Eastern time instead of 5:30 Eastern time instead of 5:15 will be the time difference. And then also, I won't go through every single game and break it down. Just give you guys my best bets as to try to lock in towards, and become, a lot more profitable in the second half of the season than the first half. Time to separate the boys from the men, man. I'm excited. I think the Philadelphia 76ers come out here and get the Grizzlies out the way today. And I also think the Thunder win the game outright tonight against the Utah Jazz as well before they travel to Phoenix to play the Phoenix Suns tomorrow. So, like I said, hit the like button for me if you guys enjoy the content. I appreciate you guys supporting me all the time. Best of luck to you guys today on your action. Might try to add a player prop and, try to find at least maybe one more play, but not going to force a lot, on the first day back. It's easy to get excited, get carried away with your unit, so I won't do that. Best of luck to you guys today. I'll see you guys at 5:30 Eastern time for the Crispy Cap and NBA show. I'm out.